Hi everybody. My name is Mr. Michael Stockstill, and I'm going to be your instructor for Chem-131 WWW Gen Chem 1 this summer. This class is a condensed class. We only have 7 weeks and 2 days to get through all of our material, so it's going to be important that we really hit the ground running. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a little tour of our virtual classroom to kind of get you accustomed to everything and point out the important things to finish up this first week. This class is also going to be an asynchronous class, so there isn't going to be any regular class meetings, which can be very convenient, but does mean that you guys need to reach out to me and ask for help whenever you're getting into a little bit of trouble. I can be reached on my email. It's michael.stockstill@mcc.edu, and I will typically respond to these very quickly. Starting from a fresh desktop, our first choice in accessing the virtual classroom is going to be which browser we're going to use. I have both Firefox and Chrome up here. These are the ones that are suggested by Canvas, so I suggest that you pick one of these to use. I prefer Firefox, so we're going to start there. First thing you're going to want to do is go to www.mcc.edu, and here you're going to find this MCC for me link. After that, we're going to have to do our login. Okay, once we're in, you're going to find this Canvas link right here. And then your classroom is going to look like this guy right here. We've got Chem-131 WWW Summer 2021. Once we click on it, once we've accessed the course, we're going to land on this home page. And there's a lot of information here. Probably the most important thing is the list of deliverables that you guys are going to have to meet. And you're going to be able to see that in a few different ways. The first one being, there's going to be this little to-do list over here where we can click on each one of these links to access our different assignments. The next way to view that would be to view the course calendar. And what this button's actually going to do is it's going to bring you to the same thing that you're going to see over here, but it's going to limit it to only this course. So let's see what that does. Once we click here and we get over to the beginning of our course, you're going to be able to see that most of our assignments are going to be due on Tuesday of each week. The next thing I'd like for you guys to all be aware of is how I'm going to communicate general messages to everybody. So at the top of the page here we have this recent announcements, and you can see what a little example of what an announcement is going to look like. This is only going to show the most recent ones here. If you want to see the older announcements, you can click here on View Course Stream, and this is going to give you a list of all of the announcements that I've made to date in the course. Now, as we look at this left-hand pane here, these are going to be our navigation buttons, and we're going to start to move down them to get an idea of the body of the material for the course. We can start off with the syllabus. You can see here, again, we have our calendar over here. We have our grading policies all set up here. And we have a pretty extensive syllabus. And I'm just going to hit some of the highlights here. We have my email address. I would prefer if you sent me emails directly to this email address from your Gmail address. The reason being, when we use Canvas Inbox, I don't see like pictures and stuff you might trying to send me, and if I try and send you back like a math clip or something like that, it doesn't really go through the inbox. So while this is good for text, the Gmail really allows me to be a little bit more flexible. I have a telephone number. You guys can feel free to call that telephone number or text me, whatever you would prefer, if that's your preferred way of contacting me. And we can do office hours by appointment via the Zoom hours Zoom link. You just email me and we can make a little meeting. And I really hope that you guys will take advantage of that and that we can do this. It's really good to get some face-to-face early if you guys are struggling with any of the material. After that, we have a lot of the important dates. This can also be accessed on the MOP website. Gives you a sense of our drop dates and when grades are going to be due. A lot of good important details there. You can see that this is a very condensed class, as we mentioned. We have our required materials. It says that you should have a scientific calculator. That would be nice, but that said, being all online, you could use a calculator on your computer. There will be no other required materials for this course. We have our course description, prerequisites, learning outcomes, a little overview of the different things that we're going to cover this term, including our laboratory activities, and then finally the textbook. So our textbook is going to be the Openstax Chemistry 2E. So this is an online textbook. It just lives online, and there's a lot of ways that you can get this textbook. You can just view it online if you have a stable internet connection. It wouldn't hurt to download a PDF onto your computer or tablet or something. So, in case you didn't have the internet, you could still read your textbook. If you're really wanting to, you can order a print copy. This is going to have a cost associated with it, though. There's an app for both Android and Apple phones. You can get it on Kindle if you're a Kindle ebook reader. And I guess we can order a print copy too. Twice. If we take a look here, you can see what the online interface looks like. If we come over here to the table of contents, we have all of our different sections here, and I'm going to be linking you to this as well, but you can always come in here and find the textbook and the different sections we're going to be covering each week too. There's a nice summary at the end of each one with the key terms and key equations, and these exercises are going to be where our homework is going to be coming from. At the very bottom here, we have the answer key for each one of the odd questions. So you have that as a resource. But I'm actually going to provide you with my own handwritten solutions that are going to go into greater detail than this answer key. So I suggest that you guys take a look at those first, because that's really where I'm going to have the opportunity to do a little bit more teaching and give you guys a little bit greater details. So that's pretty much what we see in the homework. The homework is not going to be graded. It is just there for you guys to get a little bit of practice and be able to take a look at the answers and get some feedback. After that, our next level of assessment is going to be the lecture quizzes. Most weeks you're going to have a quiz assignment due. They're going to be done through Canvas. And we'll take a look at where those are available in the module section. You're going to have 2 attempts on each one of the quizzes. There's not going to be a time limit. And after the first attempt, you're going to be able to see the problems that you got wrong. So you can know which ones you got right. So you can always get a better grade on your second attempt just by sticking with the problems that you got right. exams. There are going to be 2 exams. There's going to be a midterm exam in week 4, and there's going to be a final exam in the last week. I have posted the dates of the exams here. You're going to have 1 attempt at an exam, and then once you start it, you're going to have 24 hours to complete it. So I'd like for you to finish these in a single setting. And I'm not going to be able to do any extensions for the exams without some level of like prior contact. So you need to plan to be able to do the exams when they're due. Laboratory activities are not going to be done through Canvas. Laboratory activities are going to be done through LabFlow. And this is a outside platform that we're going to be using, and I'm going to be linking you guys to. One of the most important things, and really the first thing that I'm going to need for you guys to do, is to go and sign up for LabFlow. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Grades. The bulk of your lecture grade is going to come from the quizzes. The midterm exam will be 15%. The final is going to be 20%. Laboratory quizzes will be 5%, and the laboratory reports are going to be 20%. And then I have a rubric here for how your percentage in the course is going to be translated over to a GPA. There's some tutor information here. Mott has partnered with tutor.com to provide free tutoring. And there's also going to be some other tutoring opening up at Mott. So I may actually update this in a little bit to include some of the on-campus tutoring options that Mott's going to be having. The rest of the syllabus is pretty standard. You're going to see these sections on all of the syllabi that you see. There's a lot of really great information here about services that Mott provides. It would definitely be worth it to do a little scan through that and make sure that you're aware of all of these different policies and statements. At the very bottom of the syllabus, we're going to find a course summary, and here we have all of the dates and times when the different assignments are going to be due. I'm going to give you guys access to the first 4 weeks of the course right off the bat, so you can always work ahead. And then after our midterm exam, I'm going to open up the second half of the course. So in this condensed format, it's important that you guys have the option to work ahead, and it may very well behoove you to do that. Make sure that you don't wind up falling behind when, life starts to interrupt. So there really isn't too much to our discussion sections. These aren't graded assignments, so you guys don't have to participate, but they're really here to kind of help you guys build a little bit of a sense of community. The first thing I would encourage you to do is to come in here and introduce yourselves, give us some basic information about yourself, tell us a little something about why you're taking this course, and give me a little sense of what kind of chemistry topics you'd be most excited to learn about. And then if you could come back in a couple of days and respond to some of your classmates. The next section is our FAQ, and this is really an opportunity for you guys to help each other out. So you can always email me, but if you would like to come in here and post a question you think that somebody else might have an answer to, you can be free to do that and respond to one another and have a little bit of back and forth that we don't necessarily get, that we would have in the person classroom, but it is a little bit more difficult sometimes in the digital classroom. Do remember to be respectful to one another, and I will pop in from time to time to moderate and answer as many open threads as I can. So the most important tab that we're going to have here is going to be our modules. So if we click on the modules, we're going to be taken to this page here, where I have laid out the course in weeks. Again, I'm going to have each one of these available to you right away. This is kind of my suggested format for going through all the material, but you'll have available to you all the first 4 weeks right off the bat. So if you get ahead and you want to move on to week 2 or 3 or 4 ahead of time, please feel free to do that. This is the landing page, the home page that we've seen so far. The first module is going to be this Getting Started module, where you can come and take a little look here to learn something about me. I would very much like for you to read this note that I wrote to you guys about being successful in this course. And then I'm going to encourage you guys to go and update your Canvas profile. This is where you get like the little thumbnail and stuff up here in accounts that would, have a little picture of you, and you can do your profile here, and people can just figure out a little bit more about you. It's kind of helpful, again, for us to build community. Again, I have a link here about the textbook and all of the different things that we can do with the textbook. Different ways of accessing it and stuff. It's just another place where you can learn about the textbook. The most important thing that you do right away is going to be to go to this lab flow and additional resources. So if we click there, we get a bit of instruction for signing up for lab flow. So the most important thing, of course, this is going to be free and paid for by MCC, which is great. I'm very happy that they were able to do that for us. You still will need to register and get your login credentials. During this login registration, you're going to be asked for an enrollment code for this, and this is going to be a 2-digit section number. So it'll be like 01 for us because we're Chem-131 www01. Okay? If there was another section that opened up, it would be 02. Another thing that they're going to ask that doesn't really make a lot of sense for us because we're all online is which day of the week you're going to meet. If you're asked this, just go ahead and enter Monday. That's the answer that they're looking for here. For the details on how to go about signing up, you're going to have this link right here. If we open that up, you're going to see that here is a PDF for you with detailed instructions about going and signing up. So it's important that you guys get on that right away. If you have any problems with LabFlow or anything like that, you can go to their support page, and here you can look for a link that relates to the issue that you're having. And if you still don't see it there, you can always go to new support ticket here and send them a little ticket. You can always contact me as well about any issue you have. There's a chance I may be able to fix it, but I can't guarantee it. Once you are in, then you will always go to the LabFlow login page to begin your LabFlow assignment. Once you click there, you're going to be greeted with a page like this. You'll log in with your MCC email. You should register with your MCC email, not a personal email, by the way. And then once you're in, this is what your interface is going to look like. And you basically will take a tab that you're going to be working on, and I'm going to let you know which ones you should be working on. And you're always going to work left to right across these panes. And a subtle little detail is that there's this horizontal scroll bar down here. Some students miss that and they don't ever see the assignments, so it's important to keep that in mind. You'll have videos and materials to review and stuff. Most labs will actually start with a PDF that you should read in detail. That's where the bulk of the information is going to be. And then on the far right, you're going to see your assignments. So you can see this first one just has a quiz, whereas later ones are going to have both a quiz and then sometimes some supplementary information, and finally a report. And you'll notice that every one of the assignments is going to have both an open and a close date on it. So you know what the open and close dates, what the due dates are for each assignment, and when they'll be made available to you. The next part of our Getting Started module is actually a very important one. This is a list of resources that you guys are going to have available to you just to learn about Canvas or student support services that are offered by MCC, the online learning resources, technology services that are offered by MCC and Canvas and LabFlow. So if you have any kind of trouble or anything, or if you just want to know what services are available to you, you should take a quick little tour through those links there. Now we can get into the meat of our very first week. So the first thing you're going to have for each week is going to be a list of the chapters that are available in the book. If you click on any one of these, it's going to bring you directly to the section in the book that it relates to, and you guys will go through and read and take a look at these example problems in here in order to get a sense of what the material really is. The next part is going to be a list of assignments. So we have our Introduce Yourself assignment for this first week that, again, is optional and not graded, but I would encourage you to do it. And then you're going to find your homework, which, again, is not graded. It's only 0 points. If we click on the homework, we're going to find a list of problems from the end of Chapter 1, for instance, that I would like for you guys to work on. And then at the bottom here, we're going to have the solution set. So if we click on that, it's going to make a PDF available to us. We can download our PDF, or we can just view it in the viewer here. And it is going to go through with my handwritten explanations and notes. I go into a lot more detail, again, than the solution manual does. And you guys can come in here and check your answers versus mine and get a sense of where exactly you may have gone wrong, or confirm for yourself that you're on the right track. The next thing that you guys are going to see is going to be the quizzes. So if you take a look at these quizzes, you're going to see that you have a due date, the amount of points, the number of questions, there's no time limit, and that we're allowed 2 attempts. Once you click this, your attempt has started, and we're into the quiz. And there are going to be some multiple choice sections. I think this one is mostly all multiple choice, but you may also see things like drop-down boxes, or enter a numerical value, Sometimes there's even matching and stuff like that. Different kinds of questions that you're going to be able to see. Here we're going to enter in numerical values. One note about the numerical values that's very, very important is that other than when I say enter with the correct number of significant digits, you typically can enter in as many significant digits as you want, and it will not grade you incorrectly about that. However, for ones like these first few problems where we're actually learning about significant digits, where I do say enter the significant digits, you need to enter it very specifically in order to get credit for that problem. The next thing that's very important for you guys to see are these lab flow assignments here. So you might be tempted to just always log into lab flow, bookmark that up here or something like that, and just go to it however you please, which is fine. But if you're skipping over clicking here, you're going to miss my instructions for each one of the lab flows, and you don't want to do that. So, for instance, we could take a look at this Introduction to Laboratory Measurement. I have a link here to the LogFlow login page, but I also have quite a bit of instruction here to help you to be able to do the lab successfully. So you'll often find videos here where I go through how to do the calculations, or little notes and graphics that I've made for you, links to important things that you're going to need. So I don't want you guys to miss that, because you will find the lab flow assignments difficult without these extra bit of instructions. So I tried to design the modules so that they had a general flow of what was the most important things to do. So while it is entirely possible that you guys do the readings and then jump right into the assignments, I want you to know that there are also a bunch of additional resources for you guys. So one thing that you may find very useful is the presentations, where I have gone through and generated a PDF of slides that kind of summarize the reading in the sections and elaborate in a couple of spots. This can be very useful for you guys to review, but probably isn't the best way to go about doing it. You should probably read the text first, get the full story, and then come through here and just reinforce your learning a bit with the presentations. You're also going to find little bits like specific periodic tables in here, where there are different ones that have different bits of information that are pertinent to what we're going to be doing each week. Again, you can always download these for offline usage as well. I may put in a little note here that I would like for you to read, and then you're going to find a list of supplemental videos. These have all come from Jove, so if you want to get a little reinforcing on a specific topic, you can come in here and check it out. If you click on them, you're going to find the video here, and also you're going to find a transcript down here with all of the details from the video, so that you can kind of read along with it or review that as necessary. So the final two navigation links we're going to want to take a look at here are going to be grades and library resources. If you click on grades, you're just going to see a list of all of the assignments. You're going to have the grade that you've been given and the grade that it is out of over here. If you guys ever have a question about why you received a specific grade, then please contact me. You know, I'm not infallible. There is a chance maybe I made a mistake or something like that. So, you know, if you ever have an issue, you're going to get a rolling average here of your grade and the various different portions of it down here. And the other thing to keep in mind is that you are assigned a grade right after you take a quiz, but I will often go through afterwards and assign partial credit. So you may see your quiz grade go up after all the submissions have been made. So don't expect, you know, that may happen. But it won't happen until after all of the students have submitted that quiz, because that's when I'm going to go through so I can kind of do them all at once. The last one here, library resources, is just going to link us to Mott's library, where they have a lot of different materials that you can go through and check out. I think I have curated together most of the important ones for this course, but it is definitely worth it to take a look through here and get used to this interface to be successful in all of your Mott courses and just see all the materials that you have available to you. So that's pretty much it for our virtual tour. I think we've hit all of the major things. There's still a few things to explore. So, you know, come on in here and start clicking through it and get a good sense of what is all here. The two things I do want to reiterate is please feel free to contact me early and often with any questions that you might have, especially early on in the course before we, you know, kind of get into the rhythm of it. And also, please go sign up for LabFlow right away.